We'll start off with some Mumantar job, say WhyGuru together a few times as well, just to focus our minds on today's talk. I know for the last probably 6 to 8 weeks you've been going through different Gurmukhs, the Gurmukh series. If you guys haven't followed us on YouTube, we've got a channel called Boss TV, and we go through the Gurmukhs. We've got a Gurmukh series there as well, podcasts in so much detail, going through the lives of Gurmukhs, 3-4 hours long. I guess you get a bit more bite-sized version here, where it's about 1 hour or so. The talk today is not on one specific Gurmukh, it's just on Gurmukhs in general. I thought it would be nice just to speak about them and see what Gurbani has to say, what other Gurmukhs have to say about Gurmukhs, and so on, right? And just draw some inspiration. Like any topic to do with the Gurus and Gurmukhs, it's always very hard to do as well, to try and praise or talk about other great Guru Sikhs. So Guru Kirpa Rakhe, hopefully it goes well. But that's why we always start with a Mangala Charan, a prayer at the start. We call it invocation, right? So you may have gone through these things before in some of the sessions, where what you'll see, which is quite unique, and sorry, I know I technically haven't started my talk yet because you've got to do the WhyGuru first, but to give some context, it's quite interesting because what you'll find is that, especially in our traditions, many, many years ago, before somebody would start any work, they'd first do an invocation to God. They say, WhyGuruji, I take upon your support. And they remember the people that are most close to them. So that would be WhyGuru, that could be their Guru, that could be their teacher, and then they would do their writings, whatever they're going to write. So in the same way, whenever you come to a talk and they start at the start, although we're saying WhyGuru together, we're doing Ik Oankar, Satanam, Karta, Purakh, these are forms of an invocation as well to God, saying that WhyGuruji, like, I don't have any strength. You have all this strength. You're the Karta, you're the doer of everything. Right? Purakh means being, but Purakh also means Puran, the one that poured themselves into the creation. So WhyGuruji Kartar created everything, and then they poured themselves into that same creation. They weren't separate. They weren't just sitting in the clouds watching over everything. They poured themselves into the creation as well. They are fearless. They're the bow. And give me that strength to be fearless as well and to deliver this talk. So you can see that whenever we do these things at the start, whatever we do in our lives, when we start our day, we do an invocation to WhyGuru. And one of the saints we're going to go through today is Baba Ajit Singh Ji, who was the head Kathakar. He did our Katha at Sri Patna Sahib for 50 years. Right? He was blessed to do Katha for 50 years at Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Prakash Asthan, where Guru Gobind Singh Ji came on this earth. And he would do 101 different forms of ardas every single day. 101. When you'd wake up, first thing, Guru Sahib Ji, thank you for allowing me to wake up in the morning. Thank you for blessing me with this swas. Thank you for blessing me now. Can you bless me to get up? Agya Baksho, to get up and to start my day. Now you may, in some cases, think that's too much, man. That's too many ardasa to do. But it's a form of Simran, right? It's a form of remembrance of Guru Sahib Ji, and always putting Guru Sahib Ji in the center of our life. So it comes in Sukhmani Sahib, Prabha Simrata Kach bigger than the lage. That those that do WhyGuruji Simran, Kach bigger than the lage. No obstacle comes in their way. Prabhu ke Simran anidina jage. Those people that do Simran, that remember WhyGuruji, so whichever way we want to remember them, doing ardas, saying WhyGuru, saying a short prayer, they say anidina jage, day and night they remain awake, they remain alert, and they don't fall asleep in this maya, this illusion that we can all fall asleep in, of anger, attachment, stress, anxiety, depression. The one that does WhyGuruji Simran, all these things, they all go far away from that person. So we'll start now with 5 mantras together, and then we'll do some Guru Mantra Jap as well. So if you can all close our eyes, backs up straight, and let's just focus. Let's put our dhyan all here. Let's put our focus all here. Brahmgyani, it comes in later on the Shabad, those that we're going to go through. Brahm kya dhyan. That the Brahmgyani's dhyan is in WhyGuruji. They don't have their dhyan anywhere else. So for us, we're going to put our dhyan in WhyGuruji as well. So let's shut off the world. And let's put our dhyan here on the Moon Mantra and then we'll start. Ik oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Saibhang Gur Prasad Jap Aad Sach Jugad Sach Hai Bhi Sach Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach Ik oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murat Ik oankar Ik oankar Ik oankar WhyGuru 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 Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. So welcome to today's talk. Today we're going to be speaking about the greatest beings to walk this earth, right? It's always a bit of a cool title. And we have this at the bottom, Tenar Uttam Hai Jagmahi, right? So this is written by somebody called Pandit Gulab Singh Ji. Pandit Gulab Singh Ji was a great Sikh scholar from the 18th century, if I'm correct. They came just after the time of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And they write this beautiful Granth called Pavar Samrit Granth. And we'll go through that on the next slide. We spoke quite a bit beforehand. I wasn't intending to speak that long. But one of the things I'll start with is Gurmukh, right? The word Gurmukh. You guys have been hearing this every single week. Hopefully, people have spoken about different Gurmukhs. The word Gurmukh, Sant, Mahapurush, all interchangeable, right? If you look at, there's a Poti Sahib, a Granth you can say, called Mahan Kosh, a big dictionary, encyclopedia of Sikhi, and they say in there, one definition of a Sant, a saint is Guru Nanak Dev Ji da Sikh. The Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev Ji is a Sant themselves. The one that follows the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they themselves are Sant, right? So what I want to do now, straight away, is an exercise with you guys, right? I've got these 4 different types of people that exist in the world, okay? According to Pandit Gulab Singh Ji. What I need you guys to do in your groups, on your own, just to get a bit of interaction going, and then we'll come back together and think about it. The 4 on the left, greatest being, average person, demon, right? No words can describe, and I put negative, because when I show this to my wife, she goes, what does that even mean? I go, that this person is so bad that there's no words to describe them, okay? So, and then these are the 4 statements here. So for example, somebody who will give themselves pain to give others pain. Does that sound like the greatest being in the world or not? I'm not sure. So what I want you guys to do, so if you guys need your glasses, then I'm sorry. So I see some people squinting in the front row, which is quite worrying, right? Should have gone to Specsavers, right? So just link them up to the ones. So there's 4 there, there's 4 there. You guys have got 2 minutes. Please start linking, and I'll come back to you guys. Speak to your teams, make your teams. The winner gets no prize. I hope my English was good, so you guys understand each one. My name is also Sukhdeep Singh, so I put Sukh as many times as I could, just to make myself feel a part of the presentation, if that helps as well. I think some people are using the live stream because they can't see the screen, which is worrying. I think you took your glasses off to have a look. Oh. Someone took their glasses off to look at the screen. Some things are going crazy right now. We've got 1 minute left, last minute, because I gotta go to bed, I'm tired. Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Okie dokie. So let's start with the greatest being. Let's start from the top, okay? So what do you guys think? Who on this side fits the category of the greatest being?
Sacrifice all the sukh for someone else.
Okay, very good. So sacrifice their own sukh for somebody else's sukh. Does everybody agree with that? Yeah. Everyone's nodding their head. Okay, so that's correct. The greatest being is the one that gives up their own sukh for somebody else's sukh. Who's the average person? Who is the average person on this? Somebody else. The last one, okay? So they only help somebody else if it helps themselves in some way, right? And maaf karo ji, that's probably a lot of us, right? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times you'll help somebody if in some sort of way it helps us out as well, right? Okay, this is where it gets a bit hard, right? Who's the demon? Who's the demon in this case?
We thought giving somebody the top one, somebody who will give themselves pain to give others pain, sounded a bit satanic.
Okay, so we've got the top one. That does sound quite worrying. What do you guys think about the other one? As in, for their own sukh, they'll destroy somebody else's sukh. Was it a bit of a 50-50? To be honest, I can understand how they both could fit. From Pandit Gulab Singh Ji, he actually puts that the demon is the one that will destroy somebody else's sukh for their own sukh. Okay? And then they said that for the one who would give themselves pain, to give somebody else pain, and say, what can I say about that person? Do you get it? It's like, okay, fair enough. For your own sukh, you're going to hurt somebody else. That's wrong, right? But to cause yourself pain, to give somebody else pain, they're like, what can I say about that, right? So, sorry, I left it in Gurmukhi, but I'll just read it out to you guys. Apne het tyag kare. Het means like sukh. Apne het tyag kare par ko het. To give up your own happiness for somebody else's happiness, te nar uttam hai jagmahi. They say te nar, they say that person uttam hai jagmahi. They're the greatest in this world. ठीक है? Then they say, apne hit sang kare par ko nar. For their own happiness, they give somebody else happiness. Ahe saman. Saman means like, equal. Vehi pavamahi. They average person in this world. Then they say, apne hit. For their own sukh. Nas kare par ko hit. Their nas means to destroy somebody else's happiness. They say, rakas. Rakas means rakash. Demon. Rakesh hai narate jagamahi. Then they say, binhi apne hit. So this is translated a bit differently. They say, putting their own happiness to one side. Let's forget about that. Nas kare par ko hit. They will destroy somebody else's happiness. Say, te nar kaun kahahi. Te nar kaun kahahi. What can I say about that person that would do such a thing? Right, so of course we're not here to focus on the bottom three, we're obviously here to focus on Te Nara Uttama Hai Jagamahi, but it's just to show us that, what kind of people there are in the world. And interestingly, people that were down here, through the Guru Sangat, they went straight to the top. Right, you hear about the stories in Itihas, right, of like the cannibal, right, and the thieves and so on. Right, Guru Prasad Parama Padapaya. Suke Kasta Hariya comes in Reda Sahib, the evening prayer. Through the Guru's grace, Parama Padapai, they reached the highest state. Suke Kasta Hariya. Even that person that felt that they were so dry inside, they had nothing to offer the world, the Guru made them Hariyaval, they made them blossom, they made them so beautiful. So before we move on, because this part's the fun part but hard part, can we think of examples for each one? Let's start with the hardest one first, because I had to use ChatGPT to give me some examples. Because like, how do you think of good answers that are not a bit too extreme? So for number 4, the one that would give themselves pain, to give somebody else pain. Can we think of any examples of where this could happen? I know it's like, why would you want to think about that? But these things can happen in the world. Does anybody know of an example like this? Or could think of one? Hanji. There's a bit of a consultation over there. Okay, just debating. Okay.
I don't understand it because I don't understand what that means. Then these guys actually have good examples.
Oh, setting up. Hanji, let's say some examples, if you don't mind. It's a non-judgmental environment.
Just talking about some family situations.
Yeah.
Where there's politics and some people will, just to spite other people, they will put themselves through difficult situations where they're hurting just to spite the rest of the people in the family.
But then everybody starts hurting.
WhyGuru. Everybody relate to that? In terms of situations, their own family where people give themselves dukh just to give other people dukh. These are real examples, right, of stuff that happens. Anybody else? Thank you, that was a great example. I'm sure ChatGPT gave me something similar as well. I'm sure, right? Maybe, I think, right?
Would it be like, say like a child doesn't like their parent and then on purpose they do something rebellious that probably hurts them because they want to get back at their parent kind of thing or something like that? I don't know.
No, that could be example. This is why I was trying to be very careful, because I can understand that situation. We can say that's just a child. So like, we wouldn't say to them, what could we say about that person? Because it's kind of lower than a demon, right? But we get the idea that there's certain situations where people are such spite. Because a child, what does a child really know about in the bigger world, right? It's innocent, right? And they just want attention or something, right? But it's a good example. This is why I was trying to be very careful with this. The only example I could think of, my wife thought I was crazy, was that if ever you see these things on YouTube of like, or in your shorts, of like car crashes, and when somebody's trying to cut in a lane and somebody else just crashes into them just to make a point. But oh, you just said that?
I just said when you if you're driving and
Yeah.
you sort of like want to annoy someone, but you might do it in a
Yeah,
and then
you cause yourself
in danger.
Yeah.
Annoy someone else.
And look what anger does, right? Anger could do such a thing where, we could get so consumed by it that we're going to damage our own property to damage somebody else's property. Charlie, we won't ponder on it too much, but the point here is that there are some examples, but we don't really want to entertain this anyway. And then of course, apne hit, for their own sukh, they'll destroy somebody else's happiness. We see that a lot, right, in the world, where people will do things to other people, put them down to get above them in the world. And then of course, equal, a lot of the times they don't do things that benefits us, but But these people are the rarest, right? Those that will apne hit tyag kare par hit ko tenara uttam hai jagmahi. Those that will give up their own sukh, their own pleasure for somebody else. And before we go through the examples of the Mahapurush, I wanted to just go for the example of the greatest example we have, which is our Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, because this year is an important year as well as every single year. But what is so key about this year? 350 years, right? Since the Shahidi Divas of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And we should all make an effort to mark this year, to celebrate this year, to remember this year in whichever way we want to, because, you know, we may not see 400 years, right? Do you get what I mean? Like 550 just went recently for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and we might not be in 50 years or now, how many, 47 years or whatever it is now, right? So like when it was 300 years, you probably heard it in the week of Sant Kartar Singh Ji, when they're doing all these Nagar Kirtans, and there's so much happening at 300 years. Now it's like at 350 years, what is the Panth doing? What is the Panth going to do for 350 years, right? So one of the greatest examples we have is Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. And why I think it's so interesting, and this is one of the points I'm going to touch upon later on, is that at that time, when Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji came on this earth, this is written by Mani Singh Ji, Shaheed, and they say, Hind Vikhay and the Kor Machiyo. They say, in that time in Hindustan, there was so much darkness. And they say, Jab Sadhu Santana Dekhana Pavata. You could not find a Sadhu Sant. You couldn't find a virtuous being who is going to stand up and do something about all this darkness. Taram de tha ataram hove. Where there was meant to be righteousness, there's complete just tyranny. There's unjust people there doing horrible actions. No one is protecting the lowly. No one is protecting the ones that are powerless. Taba Tegh Bahadur, and they say then Tegh Bahadur. Hind ki chadar, or people say Srishti ki chadar, the one who protects the whole world, the chadar. Right? Like you can imagine a big sheet that's covering everything. They were in Chak Nanaki, Anandpur Sahib, and they say Seva Hari, who's the writer in this case, who's writing this, is a kor kalu meh. Guru Janju Teke ki large rakhavata. They protect the honor of the Hindus, Nishanya, the Jineo and the Tilak. So what's interesting here is that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, as we all know, because I'm not going to speak about this for too long because it's not my talk today, but just to show respect to Guru Sahib Ji, the greatest of all the saints, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj gave their own life for another faith, for another dharam. If we didn't know that, and that is such a big feat that we don't talk about much or understand in their own faith, because if you ask Guru Gobind Singh Ji, their son, Guru Gobind Singh Ji says there's no greater action in Kaljog than what my father did. No one has done anything as great as my father, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the Shabad Kino Bado Kulu Mein Saka. They say in this age of Kaljog, they say this Saka, oh my father did this act, there's nothing greater than that. And what we're going to do also to make it a bit different, a bit fun, is actually show you a journey I went on this year. So for 350 years, we thought ourselves on basis of Sikhi, what could we do that is unique? So we actually went to India for 3 weeks. Would like to go for longer, but of course we've got responsibilities in our home and stuff. But in 3 weeks, we traveled across the whole of India to trace 50 years of Guru Sahib Ji's life in 20 days, right? So we started off where Guru Sahib Ji took Prakash in an Amritsar Sahib, traveled to not all, but I'd say about 80 to 90% of the place, 80 to 90% of the place that Guru Sahib Ji went to, and we vlogged it and we documented it. And hopefully that's going to come out in October to November. 7 episodes going through where the Guru took Prakash, all their journeys, all the stories, and all the vastua, all the items that you'll still find in those places of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. So I thought I'll share some of it with you. So of course you probably, who's been to India here? Who's going to lovely India? Who's been to Amritsar Sahib? Who's been to the McDonald's in Amritsar Sahib with the green dot everywhere? Maharaja Burger. Who's been to that dessert Gyani's? Oh, one for us. Smart. It's really good. Chalo, I shouldn't be promoting this stuff, right? But yeah, so Yeah, that's it, man. The tabbi are too much, man. I went to this one tabba, random, is in Ayodhya. Ayodhya is where Ramchandra ji came to his earth, was born, but Guru Tegh Bahadur ji went there, so did Guru Nanak Dev ji, so did Guru Gobind Singh ji, right? And we was in the hotel room, I ordered a thali. You know, everyone know what thali is? You get like a big tray and you get loads of different things on it, right? It was 250 rupees, right? £2.50. I got so much food. I was like, yo, you never get this in England. In England, you got to pay like £30 for that. So like 6 rotiya in that case. Yeah, it was too much, man. And the paneer is banging as well. Chalo, right? You always got to get good paneer in it. You can't mess around the paneer, right? So this is drone footage. So we even took drone footage of every asthan as well to see from the top what it looks like, right? In 4K is also high quality. So does anybody recognize this? Does anyone know what this is? Yes. Oh, you're not going to answer it? Oh, come on, man. You put your hand up now.
I'm not sure what it's called, but I've been here.
Okay, where was it? This is in Delhi. Who's been to Delhi here? Right? I'm not a big fan of Delhi in general, but of course in Delhi, no disrespect to the Delhi Sikhs here, right? But as in Delhi, of course, it has our sthans, right? And this is Gurdwara Cease Gun Sahib. So this is where Guru Tegh Bahadur ji left their cease. And it is packed. Who's been to Cease Gun Sahib? It is so packed, right? That it takes you, if you're like, 10 miles down the road, take you an hour or longer just to get there because of the traffic. This main road that is here, it's closed from 9 to 9 in the morning to the evening. No cars allowed on it. You have to walk or you get a cycle or whatever. This asthan here is where Bhai Matidashi, Bhai Satidashi, Bhai Diyalaji were made shaheed. Right? So if you hear the story, one was sawn in half, one was boiled alive, one was burnt alive. That is this asthan here. Right? Where they were here and they were facing the Gurdwara Sahib. So it will eventually turn around. So, and that's like a yadgar, it's like a museum that they made. There's loads of nice pictures in there that you can see of Guru Tahas and Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. So just opposite, look at this, it's a really busy area, marketplace. And the reason I'm showing this as well is because during Guru Tegh Bahadur ji's time, it was busy as well. So when the 3 Guru Sikhs are becoming shaheed here, it wasn't like a few people there, it was packed. It was packed. And that's Gurdwara Cease Gun Sahib over there and here. So Guru Sahib ji was watching from there. They're in a pinjar, they're in an iron cage, and they're watching their 3 Guru Sikhs become shaheed in front of them. And just here, if you go inside, underneath, there's a khu, there's a well. That's the last place Guru Tegh Bahadur ji did Ishnan. Then they sat under a tree. Unfortunately, they cut the tree down because they wanted to build a bigger building. They could have built around the tree, but the tree is still preserved inside the Gurdwara, the wood, but obviously it's not tree anymore. Then Guru Sahib ji sat under the tree, did Japji Sahib the part, and then the executioner took the sword to the neck of the Guru, right? And then, as we know, Guru Sahib ji's cease came off in Chandni Chowk, Delhi. But look how packed it is. This is just in the daytime. When Guru Tegh Bahadur ji gave Shahidi, there were so many people watching at that time. So many people. There were the Sikhs watching, and that's when Guru Tegh Bahadur ji said, Ke kahe Delhi wali Sikha Gurte be mukh hoye. That means, why did the Sikhs of Delhi turn their back on the Guru? That's what Guru Gobind Singh ji said about this whole scenario that took place, this whole story, the Saka. Then they said, why did the Hindus do anything? Why did they say that for? Because the Guru gave their own life for the Hindus. Said, didn't the Hindus have any sharam? That the Guru's given their life for them, and they're watching this in this busy marketplace. And they said the same thing about the Muslims as well, because these different individuals, and when we trace the journey of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, especially when you go from their final journey from Anandpur Sahib to Delhi, a lot of the places that the Guru stayed, were actually with Muslims, not with Sikhs. Interestingly, why that was the case is because the Sikhs were afraid that something they may get persecuted for keeping the Guru. But the Muslims had so much love for the Guru. One was called Saifdeen, right? He lived in a place called Saifabad, and he kept the Guru in his own home for 4 months. 4 months, when the Guru was going to travel from Anandpur Sahib to Delhi. So that was our final journey. I'll show you some more unique stuff. If you think this is boring, then tell me and I'll stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going for the bants. Because it's good. Because these are fun ones as well, right? That's why I say bants. The other stuff wasn't bants. But we went to a place called Prayagraj, Allahabad. This is where Guru Gobind Singh Ji came into the womb of Mata Gujri Ji. ठीक है? So it comes in a history as well. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji writes it in their own writings. When they say Patna Sahib Bikhe Pavaleo, before they talk about Tere Beni is a place in India where three rivers meet. Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati. These three rivers meet and it's known to be a very pure place. Why is it a pure place? Because traditionally, even today, where water flows, water is very pure, right? Especially rivers. Obviously today pollution is a different conversation. But imagine that three rivers are flowing, how pure that place must be. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj Ji came into Mata Gujri Ji's Garab here, into their womb here, as they're making their way towards Patna Sahib. So we went to all these places where like no Sikh will go, and it's just Hindus or just Indians, right? So when we came to this mandir, the reason we had to go to the mandir is because our taxi driver was really annoying, right? He was such an unexperienced taxi driver. He just passed his driving license. It was 4 a.m. in the morning. We're leaving Ayodhya to get to Prayagraj, and he's falling asleep driving, right? He's falling asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning. He keeps stopping. He keeps washing his face with pani and then gargling and spitting it outside on the road. Now, what's this guy doing, right? He's falling asleep, right? And you're seeing the vlogs, right? Then Palvinder Singh says, the Singh that was with us, he goes, let me drive, right? So the taxi driver actually let him drive. But in India, I don't know if you've seen this, the taxi drivers, they have gas cylinders in their boots. Have you seen that? They don't use, I don't know if Punjab don't do as much. That for what I've seen now, now there's massive tanky, I call it tanky, yeah, in their boot of gas. And the reason why they use that is because it's cheaper, but they drive really slowly. So they drive 50 kilometers, even though the speed limit is 80. So Palvinder jumps in the driving seat and he's doing 80 kilometers and the guy's getting shook. He's getting so scared and he wakes up. He's wide awake, right, and he takes over, right? He goes, I don't want to let him drive. So you see that. So finally he brought us to Prayagraj. We've come to Prayagraj. We've done darshan of the Asthan. There's actually a Gurdwara there where Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji stayed. And you'll see Pratan Vastu items of the Guru there. There's Shastar and these things, which comes in the vlog. Then we were catching trains as well. So we were doing all this crazy stuff. First class, Bharat Express is the name of the train, right? So we got on a first class train. And we were rushing to the train station. And on the way, we need to stop off at Tere because we want to go and see where that area was where Guru Sahib Ji came in the womb, because Guru Bani speaks about it, and so does history. But he wouldn't take us to the spot. He took us to this random mandir, which is connected to the river, and he goes, it's over there. So then we're walking into this random mandir, 3 Singhs in Bana with the Malle on and Shastar, right? And everyone's just looking at us. But luckily, Palvinder Singh, who used to work in HR, is such a great conversator. He starts speaking to the Pandits and the Hindus and just having nice conversation, whilst Karanveer Singh, the other Singh, has got his drone out, flew in the sky and is recording everything. So this is Palvinder Singh speaking, hopefully, to the guy. And he's calling all politicians thieves and stuff. But that's the river. That was him flying the drone. And if I now show you the drone footage as well, just quickly, so I've got so many tabs open. This is Tere Beni, right? So this is coming from Yamuna. This is one river this way. On the other side, you have Ganga flowing. And then underneath, Ganga, and then underneath is Saraswati. So these 3 rivers, and interesting, this is a fort of Jahangir as well. Jahangir was the emperor during Guru Arjan Dev Ji's time as well, right? So we're able to capture this footage of the different rivers that are flowing, that were in this area Guru Gobind Singh Ji came. The last one I'll show you, actually I'll show you that one later on. So sorry, I know I kind of went off on a big tangent, but I just want to show you some of the things that we did in India, but show you the vastness of Guru Tegh Bahadur's travels, how far Guru Sahib Ji went. And a lot of times we focus on Punjab, India, But we even went to Bangladesh as well. So we're very blessed to go to Bangladesh, where there used to be 32 Gurdwara in Bangladesh. But after 1971, and when Bangladesh became liberated, became separate, those 32 Gurdwara became 5 Gurdwara. Right? So they were knocked down. Now out of those 5 Gurdwara, they're under one committee. And we were staying at one of the Gurdwara called Guru Nanak Shahi Darbar, something like that. And that one Gurdwara used to have so much jameen, but now the government are stealing all the jameen, taking all the land. The big university there, chalo, that's nice, but it was the Gurdwara's Asthan. And when you go to the Gurdwara, it's boarded up, barbed wire, everything, because you just never know what's going to happen, right? So the reality of the situation in Bangladesh, where there's not much Sikh Sangat, but the Guru went there, and the Guru spent time there, they spent years there in Bangladesh as well, right? So last point, and I'll move on, just to show the sacrifice the Guru made for us, right? Guru Gobind Singh Ji never saw their father till they were 5 years old. If you guys never knew that, 4 or 5 years old. When Guru Tegh Bahadurji is traveling, all this stuff that we vlogged is from chronologically where they took Prakash, Guru Tegh Bahadurji, to where they left their body. When Guru Tegh Bahadurji is in their 40s, about 44 years old, Guru Tegh Bahadurji decides to travel to the east. Because the last Guru to travel to the east that far was Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So 9 Gurus later, they're going to visit the same places that Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to. When they're traveling from Anandpur Sahib to all the way towards Assam, Assam's like touching upon like Thailand area, it's that far, right? They're going past all these places, and when they get to Patna Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh Ji's family, their mother, their Mama Ji and so on, they all stay there, but Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji continues going. They keep going east. They go to Bangladesh, you go to Assam and so on, and then they come back through Calcutta and then back to Patna Sahib. Guru Gobind Singh Ji is 5 years old. They stay in Patna Sahib for about, not that long, maybe a year or a year and a half, and then they go back to Anandpur Sahib. Then Guru Gobind Singh Ji comes after. Then after Guru Gobind Singh Ji comes, then the Pandits come and say, can you help us? And then Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji goes to give their Shahidi. So how long did Guru Gobind Singh Ji spend with their father? About a year or two at most. So it's very interesting when you look at these things, the sacrifices our Gurus made. Tenara uttama hai jagamahi. So we draw inspiration from our Gurus and the Qurbaniya, the sacrifices that they had made in their lives. But again, what were they always drawing us back to? That was Gurbani. Right? That was our support, our sustenance was Gurbani at all times. So, if you come back to the talk, and now we'll actually go through the slides, and I'll stop showing you my life in India. Back to present. So, question for you guys, because this is a question that comes all the time. Do saints still exist today? You hear about all these Bakhandi Babbe and these things that are going on. Do we still have saints in the world today? Someone goes, no.
I would say yes.
I would say yes. We got a yes, we got a no. Anybody else? Everyone's got their own opinion. It's completely fine. Any ideas? Yes, you got Smaji going, yeah. He's just come from seeing one probably. That's why he's saying it. Hanji, anybody else? Tika. Well, it's fine. Look, 2 things. I'll give you one example that Guru Sikh told me. I'll give another example from Bhai Gurdashi's Bani, which is probably the best one to use, right? First thing that Guru Sikh said to me when I asked him this question was that there's always a lion in the jungle. So there's always a Mahapurush somewhere, there's always a Sadhu Sant somewhere. And this is somebody who did Sangat Baba Ishwar Singh Ji Rara Sahib, who you'll learn about next week on Friday at GNG, not on Thursday, on Friday. The posters come out, so you can find that next week by Jeevan Pal Singh Ji and by Resham Singh Ji. But this is a Shabad by Bhai Gurdas Ji. So Bhai Gurdas Ji says, Thamme koi na saad bin. That now, this earth cannot be supported without the saints. Sadhana disse jag vich koa. But we cannot see no saints in the world. Now my question to you guys, because I saw this and maybe I've read into things too much, but they use the word disse. And if you go back to this Shabad here as well, they say, Sadhu Santana dekhana pavata. Dekhana disse. What does that mean? What does dekhana disse mean? It means to see. Why? It doesn't mean that they don't exist. Why? It means that they can't be seen. Tika? So in that case, When I look at what Bhai Gurdash is saying, that this world cannot survive without the sadhu sons. Because it's saying, Tarama taul pakare tale kharoa. The earth is crying out because it cannot handle the amount of sin that is on this earth. Bhai Gurdash writes as well, Papa garasi pirathmi taul khara tar het pukara. The whole world is crying out. The Tarti is crying out. It is the sadhu sons, it's the saints, it's the Gurmukhs, it's those ones that have the beautiful qualities, right? Day-to-day life, when we have those qualities of gratitude, of humility, that is what is holding the earth up. It is Dharam that is holding the earth up. Those that are Dharmi, those that are like the sadhu sons. So now that brings us to this then. What Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji has to say about the Gurmukhs. This is from Sri Sukhmani Sahib. It comes in the 8th Ashtapadi. In the 8th Ashtapadi, the 8th, you could say, section of Sri Sukhmani Sahib, there's 24 Ashtapadiya in Sri Sukhmani Sahib. In the 8th one, Guru Arjan Dev Ji speaks about a Brahmgyani. Right? Who is a sadhu sant? Who is a saint? Who is a Gurmukh? And they say, Man sacha, mukh sacha soy. They say, who is a Brahmgyani? Who is a saint? Man sacha. In their mind, only sits WhyGuru. Mukh sacha soy. On their tongue, only sits WhyGuru. Like we read in Sri Sukhmani Sahib, Prabhuji bas hai sad ki rasna. That means that God sits on the tongue of the saints. So man sacha, mukh sacha soy, avrna pek hai, ekis bin koi. Wherever they look, they only see WhyGuru. They don't see nothing else. Avrna pek hai. Ekis bin koi, ekis bin, that without nobody else, they only see WhyGuru. They say, Nanak ehi lachan Brahmgyani hoy. This is the qualities of a Brahmgyani. Right? That in their mind is just WhyGuru, on their tongue is just WhyGuru, wherever they look, it's just WhyGuru. When they look at us, they only see WhyGuruji's light inside us. And what they do next is they start to list the qualities in more detail. And we go through the third one, the third pada of Sri Sukhmani Sahib. They say, Brahmgyani sagal ki rina. That means that the Brahmgyanis, they are the form of humility. They have so much humility inside them that the way they think, the way they speak, it's all just filled with humility. And I'll give you one example from the life of a great saint called Baba Ajit Singh Ji. I mentioned him a little bit earlier when I said the 101 Ardasa that they would do every single day. Baba Ajit Singh Ji again, 50 years doing Katha at Sri Patna Sahib. What's interesting about Baba Ajit Singh Ji is at the age of 5 years old, Baba Ajit Singh Ji lost their eyes, their eyesight. So at the age of 5, they became blind. At the age of 5, their parents were so distraught because again, as we know traditionally, the boy is the one that takes care of the house and is going to take over all the responsibilities. If the child is blind, respectfully, in this case for them, they're thinking, what can this child do? That love goes. Baba Ajit Singh Ji, at the age of 5, realizes that his parents don't have that love for him anymore. So you know what he does? He leaves himself. Babaji leaves his home and he just goes somewhere, anywhere. And this comes in Gurbani. What Babaji was feeling at that time, Matara Pitra Tyag ke man santana pahe bichayo. He left his family, he renounced his mother and father, man santana pahe bichayo. He gave his life to the sons, to the saints. He found himself a sadhu sant and he started to follow them and he started to take upon Gurmat Vidya. He started to learn to read Gurbani. Of course, Babaji has no eyes. Right? So Babaji would memorize Gurbani. He memorized all his Nitnem, memorized, and I say this very confidently, all of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, all of Surya Prakash. And this is not just me saying it, I'll give you examples that come up. But Babaji was such a Gurmukh that he had all of Gurbani memorized. So when he would teach Santhya as well, he would teach people how to read Gurbani Santhya, and it's all for memory because, again, they usually say when one sense goes, your other senses become stronger, right? So Babaji's hearing was very sharp, and in this case, Babaji's memory was the best, tip top, right? So, Jat Janamukul Khoye, Ho Gavo Har Hari, that have given up this social status, this way that the world tells us to live, and now all they do is sing WhyGuruji's praises. Lok utam te tuti hai. Prabh kirta kari. They just do WhyGuruji's work now. They dedicated their life to serve WhyGuruji, and that's what I meant by for 50 years. A city Patna Sahib, they do katha every single day. In Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Prakash Asthan, to the point when even one day there was a Pati Singh, somebody who's reading Surya Prakash, which is a historical scripture which goes through the Guru's history, and he's making so many mistakes that Babaji told him to stop reading. Babaji was reading the part and they were doing the katha at the same time. So they had the part all memorized, so they're saying the part. So like if, for example, one line in Surya Prakash could be like Bidya Jetha Lang Parana Pancham Para Sang Pyana. He would know that all off by heart and then do the katha of it as well. That's how fast or tej you could say Babaji's buddhi was. And why this links to what I'm saying about Brahmgyani Sagal Ki Rina, about being the form of humility. Rina means dust, turi. To be the dust of the feet of the Guru Sikhs. Baba Ajit Singh Ji taught many students. But very interestingly, Baba Ajit Singh Ji every single morning, they'd wash the kashare of their students. We know kashare, right? The panch ka card. The students, Baba Ajit Singh Ji washed their own students' kashare. So the idea of humility, that they were serving their own students as well. Every single day. And very interesting, when we went to Patna Sahib, because like I said, we went to all these places, Guru Kirpa, we were blessed to go to Sri Patna Sahib as well. We were of course traveling, trying to find new things, new people to meet, get VIP access, because we're from outside, from England, right? See what we can do with our British passport, right? You need to show that British passport until you get some Shakti, man, showing that around, right? Of course, when you go to these asthans, nobody cares, right? But very, very luckily, when we was in Patna Sahib, we was being given a tour by this lovely Gurmukhi, right? He was showing us Takht Sahib, and he took us up each level. On each, above Sri Patna Sahib, the Takht Sahib, Sri Harmandir Ji, there are big rooms on top, there are Sachkhand, where there's many Sukhdeeps of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Pratan Sukhdeeps and so on. And we're with this Gurmukhi, and randomly, we just ask him, do you know who Baba Ajit Singh Ji is? And he says, I know who Baba Ajit Singh is. I was a student of Baba Ajit Singh Ji. And the way his face just lit up when he started speaking about Baba Ji. So we've recorded this all. It's going to come out in the vlogs. It's about this just conversation took so long. He just kept talking about Baba Ji that by the time we finished, it was dark outside, right? So you can imagine all the machar and stuff, like, you know, I've got sweet blood in it, so I'm going to get bitten, right? So we're just standing on top of city. It's beautiful though. There's Kirtan happening, there's red outside the part, there's Aarti, there's Kirtan, and we're just standing on the top of Takht Sahib, just listening to this Guru Sikh speak about a Gurmukh in Baba Ajit Singh Ji. And I'll only play you a little bit. Hopefully the audio works. Just give me a thumbs up at the back if you can hear it, or if it's not working, give me a thumbs down. I'll just play for 2 minutes and I'll translate, and then we'll carry on. ठीक है?
और बाबा अजीत सिंह जी बारे तुसी जानदे? हाँ उनका कोई जानकारी दे सकते हैं?
बा ज्ञानी अजीत सिंह जी कोलो 10वीं संथ्या लिया।
अच्छा जी।
मैं उन्हां कोलो मैं पढ़िया।
अच्छा।
संथ्या मैं उन्हां कोलो ही ली।
अच्छा अच्छा।
हाँ जी। बाबा जी दे कोल कोई भी संगत किन्नी भी कोई आ जावे, बाबा जी हर पक्षों जवाब दे करके उन्होंने सुरखुरु कर देंदे सन। गुरमत दे विचकार रह गए, ये नहीं कि गुरमत तो अगे जाके। फिर बाबा जी बहुत गुरु महाराज जी दे सत्कार ते हर वेले खड़े होंदे सन।
अच्छा जी।
जे गुरु बाबा जी दे बाणी पढ़दे नूं कोई आ जावे ते सिंह नूं इदां कर करके कहने दसी इन्हां नूं बाहर ले जाओ, मैं बाणी पढ़ रहा। फिर बाबा जी दा नितनेम बहुत सी। फिर बाबा जी कदे भी नीम दे दातन तो बिना और दूजी दातन यूज नहीं करता। बाबा जी पूर्ण जति सती सन, क्योंकि जदों बाथरूम भी जाना उन्होंने उन्होंने पैर हाथ धो करके, और जब 2 नंबर जाना तो भावें 4 बार जाने, भावें पो का महीना होवे, वो उन्ने वेले ही स्नान करते सन। हाँ जी। ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ
Last point.
ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਚੜਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕੋਲ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਥਾ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਛੱਡਣ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ
ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ
ਤਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਾਲ ਆਣਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕੋਲ ਗਏ ਕਿ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿਓ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਛੱਡ ਦੇਣ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ ਅੱਛਾ
So that is a student of Baba Ajit Singh Ji speaking about the experiences with Baba Ji. Just for those that don't understand Punjabi, even though speaking with Punjabi, bit Hindi as well, he speaks like he's a student of Baba Ajit Singh Ji. He took something from Baba Ajit Singh Ji. The level of respect that he had for that Baba Ajit Singh Ji had for Gurdwara, it couldn't be matched. When it came to Baba Ji and the Maryada of Suchamta, of keeping cleanliness, Baba Ji would do Ishnan every single day. Anytime they went to the toilet, went for number 2, Baba Ji would do Keshi Ishnan again, they'd bathe fully and they'd go to the river. So Ganga is not too far from here. Baba Ji would walk down the steep hill to get to Ganga, do Ishnan, even if it was Bawda Mihna, even if it was the coldest months in India. And one day they got really ill and the doctor said to them that maybe you should stop having a bath, and they go, that's never going to happen, right? So that level of, you know, you could say, why? What's so important about, you know, having a shower 4 times a day? If you need a toilet, is discipline, right? They were so disciplined, and remember, they were a Surma Singh, they were blind, right? Respectfully, they didn't have eyes, so they could have made as many excuses as they wanted, but they didn't, right? Even to the point where they would walk a mile or 2 every single day just to get their Santya. Right? And the reason I'm sharing this as well is when we look at the lives of Gurmukhs, we can take inspiration from it, not to belittle ourselves, but think, look how much they struggled to get what we have so available to us today. Like for example, there's so many Santia classes you guys probably have in Birmingham. So many that are starting, we've all got a gaddi in our houses, no one's got one gaddi anymore. There's probably 4 or 5 gaddi now that they're parked in the driveway, parked on the road. But for some reason, we can't make it to the Gurdwara for the classes. It doesn't matter about the age, young or old, we all have the opportunity. Guru Amar Dashi taught us that as well, that you can still be near elderly, still be very old and still, you know, meet WhyGuru Ji through the example of their Jeevani. But the point is that if Baba Ji can do that, we're having no eyes and having to walk to each sthan to get Santya or learn their Vidya, then what excuses do we have? That we should all be inspired to, you know, try and do satsang as much as possible and to develop ourselves spiritually, whether that be through reading Gurdwara or whatever means it might be, whether we Kirtan, wherever, you know, wherever we desire to learn and inspire us. So that was the last thing from the vlog stuff, and then I'll carry on with this. So that's Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Sarb Brahmgyani Sagal Kirina, Atam Ras Brahmgyani China. Next line, Guru Arjan Dev Ji is saying, Ke Atam Ras, the bliss of the soul, the bliss of the Atma, Atam Ras Brahmgyani China, China means to know. The Brahmgyanis, the Gurmukhs, they feel that Anand. And when we are blessed to stay in their sanctuary, to be amongst them, then we can feel that as well. Right? So one example that we have is of Baba Ishwar Singh Ji. Rara Sawale with Baba Ishwar Singh Ji would stay with their Mahapurush, Baba Attar Singh Ji Rero Sawale. They would say that we would sit and do Simran together. And they go that 18 hours would pass like 2 minutes. The guys in so much Anand that time would just fly by when we're just sitting together saying WhyGuru. Because of that company of Baba Attar Singh Ji Rero Sawale. Another example that we have here is of Baba Bir Singh Ji, because Baba Bir Singh Ji comes from that same lineage of how today we talk about Baba Ishwar Singh Ji, going all the way back to Bhai Daya Singh Ji. Bhai Daya Singh Ji, the Panch Pyare. ठीक है सर, Baba Bir Singh Ji, from a young age, was brought up in a Guru Sikhi circle, you could say. And Baba Bir Singh Ji was involved into the army, just like his father. Right, so he's in the army. When his father gave Shahidi in a battle in Multan, Baba Bir Singh Ji actually took the position of his own father. And he was in the army. And what happened one day was that Baba Bir Singh Ji, within the army, they met somebody called Bhai Chanda Ji, or Bhai Chanda Singh Ji, or Chanda Singh Ji, sorry. And they used to do Simran together. And he mentioned to Baba Bir Singh Ji about this other Gurmukh called Baba Pag Singh Ji. And they'll speak about them so much, about this great saint, that Baba Bir Singh Ji had this itcha, they had this desire that they want to go meet Baba Pag Singh Ji. Right? So what happened was that they went to go meet Baba Pag Singh Ji, and when they met them, Baba Pag Singh Ji said to Baba Bir Singh Ji, that why do you keep looking at me for? What are you looking at? Because they were quite intrigued in the way that Baba Bir Singh Ji was looking at them. And Baba Bir Singh Ji said that I feel like I've seen you many times before. Of course, there must have been some previous meeting, maybe Pishle Janam and so on. And Baba Pag Singh Ji said that I'm indebted to you. I need to give you something. But that conversation came up later on. So Baba Bir Singh Ji, staying in the sanctuary of Baba Pag Singh Ji, left the army, and there was such a, you could say, virtuous person, that after that line of Brahmgyani Sagal ki rira Atamras Brahmgyani China, Brahmgyani sab upar maya, that the Brahmgyanis have compassion upon everybody. At that time, during the cold months, the sadhu sants of the area were freezing in the cold. So Baba Bir Singh Ji took his own house, and he took the roof off and used all the wood to make wood fire for the sadhu sants. Right? So sab upar maya. They have compassion upon everybody and they serve everybody. When Baba Bir Singh Ji's mom found out, she wasn't very happy. Right? And she said to Baba Bir Singh Ji, you're bringing nothing to this home, so just leave, just go. Same thing like Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Matara Pitara Tyaga Keh. That now they've renounced their family. Right? They didn't do it themselves, the family renounced them, but they realized that their true mother and father was WhyGuru Ji. Tum mat pita, hum barak tere. Read that in the style the Ardas, right? So Baba Bir Singh Ji sab upar maya. They have compassion upon everybody. And what happens later on is that Baba Bir Singh Ji then carries on to meet somebody called Baba Sahib Singh Ji Bedi, who was from the lineage of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They stay in their Sangat and they're sent to Narangabad to set up a camp. And Baba Bir Singh Ji, throughout their life, they do a lot of Langar Di Seva. That was the main seva that Baba Bir Singh Ji did, Langar Di Seva. Many Mahapurush did Langar Di Seva. And when they started to do Langar Di Seva, 20 people would come every single day to have Langar in Baba Bir Singh Ji's Langar. Then 100 people. It got to the point where thousands of people every single day would have Langar in Baba Bir Singh Ji's Langar that they set up the seva. Then what happened was one day Maharaja Ajit Singh Ji, who was the Maharaja at the time, he brought an army of 14,000 soldiers. And Baba Bir Singh Ji shikar all of them Langar. So Baba Bir Singh Ji was around at the time where the British came into India. They took over, they basically infiltrated the Raj of Maharaja Ajit Singh, and the kingdom fell. When the kingdom fell at that time, the British knew that the only threat that they have that could topple their rule or what they're trying to do is Baba Bir Singh Ji's Fauj, is their army. So Baba Bir Singh Ji was a Fauji, they was in the army beforehand, and they had an army themselves as well, of warriors that would stay with them. So what he did, what the British did, is that the British got someone called Hira Singh and his men, who were 6 soldiers, right, to attack Baba Bir Singh Ji. Okay? So they came to attack Baba Bir Singh Ji. So what's going to happen right now? You're going to have 6 who are going to be attacking 6 as well. Okay? Baba Bir Singh Ji said at that time that let it not be said in history that the 6 fought against the 6. And I'm sure you guys heard about what happened recently, not too long ago in Birmingham, where we saw that thing on social media where Singhs were threatening Singhs, which was disgusting to see. But mistakes. But if you look here, this is something that I don't know what the source is, but it's from probably like a Raitanama. On the 3rd line it says, Singh, Singh par shastar na kare. It says, Singh should never lift a sword upon another Singh. Basically, a Singh or Singhni, both, should never lay their hand on another person, another Sikh. We should have that much pyar for each other that when we see another Sikh, we don't see a human or man or woman, we say a Gurudas Rupya. This is the form of the Guru. The Roop, the body, that's the Guru's Roop. The dastar, the beard, so on, the kakar, that this is a Guru ka Sikh. Right? So Baba Bir Singh Ji, this is in the 1800s, 1834 I think. This is taking place. Baba Bir Singh Ji says to his soldiers that we are not going to attack them. In fact, on this day, make double the langar. So when the army comes, we're going to shikar them langar as well. So Baba Bir Singh Ji told them, take Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji from here, so Biadbi doesn't happen. Baba Bir Singh Ji sat on a manja, and the army came. Some Guru Sikhs say that they shikar them langar to the other Sikhs that came. Baba Bir Singh Ji sat on the manja. They fired 500 small cannons, 120 big cannons, and Babaji became Shaheed at that time. Brahmgani sab upar meya, Brahmgani kach bora na paya. That means that Brahmgani never wants bad for anybody. They never think bora, they never think horrible of other people. Baba Bir Singh Ji was an epitome of that. Right? That in our lives, because we all get annoyed with people, right? Sometimes आपस which even on Sangat, we may not like each other, right? It's reality. Unfortunately, you've all seen the Gurdwara politics, right? It happens, right? History shows that. We can't hide from it. It's happened everywhere. It's happened in the Guru's home. Of course, the Guru was beyond that, but the Guru they were first hand too. They saw that in front of them. Their own family was jealous of them, tried to kill them. But did the Guru react by saying, kill my brother? Then we got to be a Prithi Chand, Guru Arjan Dev Ji's example, or Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. No. So in the same way, Singh par shastar na kare, that a Singh should never fight another Singh. Right? It just shouldn't happen. Baba Bir Singh Ji is showing that Jan Guru Khalsa te dare, have this fear that this is the Guru's Khalsa, this is Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Khalsa, and Baba Bir Singh Ji gives us that example in the Jivani, Brahmgani kach bora na paya. They don't want bad for anybody. Then the next one, this is a nice Shabad as well, that Bhai Gurdashi writes, Guru Sikh Puj ke, Pai Pagad Pe Pana Pave. That Guru Sikh, when a Guru Sikh meets another Guru Sikh, because look, we can say all that and talk about Gurmukhs, right? How are we ever going to get to that level? It's for the Guru's Kirpa and just trying to apply what they've done in their lives, in our own lives as well. So Guru Sikh Puj ke. When a Guru Sikh meets another Guru Sikh, what do they see? They see the Guru's roop. You see, this is my Guru in front of me. And they say, Puja ke. They serve the other Guru Sikh. They say they sit together and they do Pai Pagata. Pai Pagata means Prema Pagati. When was the last time we saw one of our Guru Sikh friends that did Pagati together? So let's just do some WhyGuru Sim and do Jawpace live. Probably very rare. Right? It's probably, yo, what's going on with United or football or anything in the world, right? There's nothing wrong with, but I'm just saying, this is what we're striving to become like, right? That when a Guru Sikh meets another Guru Sikh, they just talk about the Guru, right? So maybe something we can all take away today, that the next time we speak to our friend on the phone, that we see at Thursday Simran, Thursday talk, or wherever we go, let's talk about something Guru orientated first, then talk about what we want to talk about, right? So they always live in fear, loving fear. And they always accept WhyGuruji's pana, the will of WhyGuruji. Aap gavai. They lose themselves. They lose this ego. Not aap ganave, and they never see themselves as the highest. They always see themselves as the lowest of the lowest. Aap sugo, jo jane nicha, so ganye sabtu ucha. The one who sees themselves as the lowest of the low, they're in fact the highest of the high. The next slide I'll go to in a second, because you might think it's a bit of a weird slide. I'll show it now. Actually, show in a second, right? What's the time? I can talk forever. I was worried that I was going to finish too early, but I'm going to end up finishing late. I'll try and finish in the next 10-15 minutes. The next punct is Brahmgani Sada Samadarsi, Brahmgani Ki Drisht Amrit Barsi. That means that the Brahmgani is Sada Samadarsi. They see everybody equally. And they say Brahmgani Ki Drisht Amrit Barsi. In the Brahmgani's eyes, they just pervading with Kirpa. Wherever the Brahmgani looks, there's Kirpa. So one example is of Baba Ishwar Singh Ji, where there was a mother who came to visit Baba Ishwar Singh Ji. This is from Calcutta, this story. And her husband was an alcoholic, right? Unfortunately, a big issue within Punjabi Sikh circles. And she went to Sant Ji for help, to hopefully they'll do something. Now, Sant Ji says, tell your husband to come and see me. And she goes, he ain't gonna come. Because as soon as he hears the gull about alcohol, he's gonna leave. So the husband agrees to come meet Baba Ishwar Singh Ji on one condition, that they don't speak about sharab. They don't speak about alcohol. and Baba Ajit Singh Ji agrees. So they don't speak about anything. When this husband turns up, he sees Baba Ajit Singh Ji, and Baba Ajit Singh Ji says nothing to him, and the husband returns home. When he goes home, he's got that itch, that itch, that desire, that itch to want to go to the shop and get a bottle of alcohol. He goes to the shop, he buys a bottle, and he comes home, he pours it in the cup, he's about to drink it, and he goes, taste that water. It's not alcohol, it's water. He gets annoyed, goes back to the shop, says, think I'm an idiot? This isn't alcohol, it's water. The shopkeeper goes, I don't know what you're on about, take another bottle. Takes the second bottle, goes home, it's water again. Third time he goes back, he's lost it now. He opens the bottle in the shop and it's water again. Then he goes back to Baba Ajit Singh Ji, and Brahmgyani ki drisht Amrit Barsi. Baba Ji didn't have to say nothing, just in the glance of Baba Ji's grace, everything happened, right? So there's been stories of Mahapurush or Gurmukhs, right? Just to bring it down to our level in the Gurdwara Sahib, the Guru, the greatest example, where the Guru just looks at us and everything changes. That's when a great Gurmukh said to me, Gyani Pritam Singh Ji, who passed away last year, he said, whenever you go to the Gurdwara, don't think you're just looking at the Guru is looking at you. The Guru isn't a book. The Guru is Dasha Padshah di Jot. There's the light of the 10 Gurus. We are so blessed. So it's not just us looking at the Guru's looking at us. And when the Guru looks at us, Nadari Karam Pavai Nisan. It comes in Japji Sahib. Nadari means glance. Nadari Karam. Karam here refers to Kirpa. Doesn't this mean actions? Another meaning. That Kirpa Drishti. Pavai Nisan. Upon us, the Guru is showing us with their Kirpa. Anything could have happened that day. Could have a horrible accident, but we just got hit on the leg. And we get annoyed about the hit on the leg, but it could have been 10 times worse. So every time we go, Kirpa is happening, and a bit digressing a little bit, but it comes back to the same point, just making it a little bit personal, is here. Can anybody recognize anything from this picture? Bhavan Singh is going to have a great time. Can anybody recognize anything in this picture? Yes. I'm the one on the end, on the left-hand side, right? With my helmet over the star at that time, right? They shonk on tried the malla, but I was using the material that you get, the really thick one. So it took me an hour to try it, and it looked like a tank, man. It was like a proper, like American football helmet. I was sweating so much, right? I had no Kirtan. So this is actually me 10 years ago, right? At Baba Ajit Singh Ji's Barsi 10 years ago, right? Just really digressing, but I've got to make the point. I was wearing these really nice camouflage Air Maxes. They were too sick. They were so camouflage that sometimes people couldn't see my feet, right? If you get the joke, right? But unfortunately, I went to a Gurdwara, Gravesend, and somebody jacked my trainers. Oh, so dukhi, man. They were proper camouflage, proper gangster, yeah? But now you know, never wear camouflage Air Maxes to the Gurdwara, because you probably ain't going to see them again in the Jorakar, right? Let's just see some gangster Baba wearing them in the langar, innit? Do langar di seva, then say if you can keep them. But anyway, I'm digressing too much, but I like a bit of comedy in there as well. So this is actually the first time I was blessed to do seva. So I kept my case the year before, in 2014, October I think it was, and the next year I was blessed. I was watching basic Sikhi videos, and there was a call out to go and do stall seva at Baba Ajit Singh Ji Smargam. So this is my picture taken on Friday or Saturday with the guys. And what was this Barsi was so beautiful. It was 40 years then, now it's 50 years that Babaji had passed, and so much kirpa happened that one weekend that just by the end of the weekend I was like, now I'm ready to take Amrit. Why not? I really pondered and reflected upon this week, because to me it was like that Barsi, Babaji's kirpa, even now 40 years later, I felt that there's so much kirpa upon me as well, that they gave me that last push to take Amrit. Because if people have taken Amrit here before, they'll know it's not an easy step. No steps are easy in life, I appreciate that. But you know, you can make up so many excuses of why you can't take Amrit. I'm not perfect, I'm not this, I'm not that. You're never going to be in a stage where you think you're perfect, right? Because we're not perfect. Only the Guru can make us perfect, because the Guru is perfect themselves, right? So I remember I was in the Jora card and there was a poster on the wall that said Amrit Sanchar next weekend. And I looked at it and it was like a tar, it was like a big slap in the face. And it was speaking to me, the poster, saying this is your time. So like to me, Brahmgyani ke Drisht Amrit Barsi, even 40 years later, just by going to Babaji's Barsi, remembering them in the Darbar, Hazuri of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, I felt like even 40 years later, Babaji was doing kirpa upon me as well. So when it comes to Mahapurush, because today the question about is any saints left, who knows, right? Again, we may not see them. Again, I agree with Guru Bani says there's always a Sant Mahapurush. The lion's always in the jungle. But if you can't meet one today, it's not the end of the world. We can still listen to their katha. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, if you never met the saint, you have to ask somebody else. Today we've got all the katha, all the bachans of all these great saints that have left us physically, but they're still here spiritually. So we can still connect to all of them. So Brahmgyani ke Drisht Amrita Barsi. That just by being around the saints, by hearing about the saints, we're being blessed with their glance of grace as well. Nobody take a picture of that. Nobody's going to see this picture again. Right? But the camouflage, that was the one. Okay? So coming on to the last one. So Brahmgyani ke Drisht Amrita Barsi. And then the last two ones that come up in that pada that time, they say Brahmgyani ka Pojan Brahmgyan. Right? Along those lines. I don't want to get it wrong. They say that the Brahmgyani's Pojan, their food is WhyGuruji's name. Right? So let me just find it quickly. In the 8th Ashtapadi. Hanji, so Brahmgyani ka Pojan Gyan. That their food, their Pojan is Namrupi Gyan, is Gurbani. That is their sustenance. That is what they're eating every single day. That is their meal. Before we wake up, when we wake up in the morning, it's not Cocoa Pop straight away, it's not cornflakes, it's Japji Sahib. Tika? So if we don't do this, my bane to everybody, even to the kids as well, when you wake up, no Cocoa Pops, yeah? To the Singhs, no Aloo Al Parathe in the morning, yeah? We're not having that first. First thing we're having is our Japji Sahib. Yamar Tari Guru Panch Baniya. But let's make that promise to the Guru, in the morning, Japji Sahib the part, until I don't do much, because we're not going to forget to eat, right? Everybody has to eat in the day, right? Whether you skip breakfast, you have your lunch, you can't have your lunch either then, until you do your Japji Sahib. Let's all make that promise to the Guru, that when we leave today, that we do Japji Sahib every single morning. Before we put any food in our mouth, the first food that we have is Japji Sahib. If you can't read it, it's fine, just listen to it. Tika? That was their food, but at the same time, everybody's got to eat. Even a Brahmgyani's got to eat something, right? Because of the body. Even though there's some Brahmgyanis who eat so little. And what I thought was really interesting, and this is probably the last point that I'll finish off with, otherwise I can talk forever. This is from Pandit Gulab Singh Ji. Pandit Gulab Singh Ji, he talks about, what's beautiful about his Granth that he wrote, he kind of shares his own experience, his own spiritual journey. And he gets to this stage where he starts giving Alame to WhyGuruji. Alame means he starts complaining to God. And we've all had that, right? Has anybody ever complained to God? A bit fed up in life? Then that, come on man, my line is give a brother a break, right? Give me a break, right? Just help a brother out, right? So Pandit Gulab Singh Ji is also feeling this as well. And he's had enough. And he says to God, he says ke bid ek aneet kare jag mein sub sant niketan pet lagaye. What that means is that he's saying bid means Brahma. Bid ek aneet kare jag mein. That Brahma made this one mistake when he made the whole world. Sub sant niketan pet lagaye. He gave the saints a stomach. You guys following so far? Ish maybe? What Pandit Gulab Singh is saying is that I just want to do bhakti. But I can't because I get hungry. And I've got to eat. If I got to eat, some people we have to work then. Right? Because if we don't work, how are we going to put food on the table? Right? So he's going in this whole spiral of thinking that, why did God give us a stomach? Why did Brahma give us a stomach? God, Brahma, this must be a mistake. What's going on? Mukha charna fed be char kiyo. Then he said that Brahma didn't even think, okay, if I'm going to give them a stomach, then terena pallava nai ahar banai. Why didn't I make their food grass and leaves? Because then we can live in the jungles, don't have to live in the world. Whenever we get hungry, we can just eat some grass, we can eat some leaves, and we'll be happy, right? But no, of course, we got to eat food, right? So they say, Tirinde palla banai ahar banai. Then they say afterwards, at deen maleen dukhi naraje. They say, if these saints, like Pandit Gulab Singh Ji's talk about themselves in that respect, that if I need to eat, then where do I have to go? I have to go back into the world. At deen maleen dukhi naraje. I have to go, the saints have to go back into the world where there's dukhi people, where people are doing not nice actions, kukaram, sinning. They have to go to their homes and they ask for food. Bhikhari banke. They have to become like a beggar. And they say, manake onasar. Manake onasar means for their own sort. Jag ke kare jag ko bidda. Say that Brahma made this world just thinking himself. Jana to ho ne Sikh mangai. Why didn't Brahma get some advice from someone? Right? This is what he's saying at that time, right? Brahma made this world. Why did he ask somebody, should I give them a stomach or not? Right? So that's what he's saying first, right? Then he starts to think, and this is what I really love about this Granth, is that it's like he's thinking, and then he goes, hang on a second. And this is what's on the board here. Sobasant kare, tapasa tanake. The great saints of this world, sarir karke, through their body they do tap. That means that through their body they do hard penance for us. That's waking up in the morning. That's when we don't do the Japji Sahib, we do the Japji Sahib. You don't do Rehra Sahib, you do Rehra Sahib. You're sleepy at night, you still do your Sohela Sahib, your nighttime prayer. Subasant kare tapasata nake manake har sevada dhyan lagaye. And through their mind, they serve WhyGuru how? By remembering WhyGuru. That is one form of seva as well. Guru ki seva sabad vichar. If you want to serve the Guru, one definition is contemplate upon what Guru Bani is saying. So they say that they serve the Guru through their mind. Jinke pad tirathate atapavan. Their feet are so pure. They're like walking tirats. So if we're not blessed to go to India, to go to Harmandir Sahib, if you meet a saint, that is like having darshan of Harmandir Sahib. In that respect, that they can purify us as well. Here in the te jana dukh palai, just by seeing them. And in this case, the greatest example we can give is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Theek hai? That when we go and see Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the Guru's feet, when we matha take from the Guru, we become pure. When the Guru looks at us, all of our dukh is taken away. Then he says this, which is quite cool. He goes, Bidda neeta bichar kiyo maname. They go, you know what, actually, Brahma didn't make a mistake. But Brahma was fine. What he did was fine, right? He goes, Subasanta Niketana pet lagai. He gave the saints a pet. Why is it good? Because now the saints can't hide from the world. They can't hide in the jungles because they need to eat. And because they need to eat, they need to come into the world and they need to come to us to get food. Not, you got what I'm trying to say. They have to come into the world. At the deen malina dukhi naraje. Us who have got, many things that are wrong with us, many problems. We're dukhi, right? We're filled with paap, with sin. And they come and they purify us as well. Right? So, again, it comes back to the same point that they're everywhere. They're all around us. But for us, we know that the best place we can be is in the Guru's Darbar. Is with the Guru. Is connect to the Guru, and the Guru will put in front of you whoever needs to be in your life. Right? Wherever they come, wherever they go, everybody's going to come and go. The Guru is going to remain. Right? So, Brahmgyani ka Brahma Dhyan. The Brahmgyani's Dhyan is always on Brahm. And our Dhyan should always be on Brahm as well. Brahm here referring to WhyGuruji. And in the last slide, I'm sure this is the last slide, this is where again it's so important that we build our own connection with Gurbani and we learn to read Gurbani, right? Because we all have access today. And this is a Shabad that I can't remember where I saw it now, I think it was Kirtan. I went to the Gurdwara Sahib and this Shabad stuck out to me so much. I just got my phone up, I typed it in, said, what are you saying to me, Guru Sahib Ji? And this is a Shabad by Bhagat Kabir Ji. And the Bhagats, there are different Bhagats in Gurbani. And what is so interesting about the Bhagats is that I feel like with the Bhagats Bani, we can relate to it so much because the Bhagats, we're trying to become Bhagats. We're trying to do, have love and devotion for WhyGuruji. And this just stuck out to me like, yo, this is how I feel right now. They say, Meri mat baudi. So I've gone crazy. My mind has gone insane. Main Ram Bisario. I forgot WhyGuru. How many times in our day, how many times in our life do we get into some crazy situations, so much stress at work, so much stress at home, we take on more than we need to take on, we think, oh, this is so much. And before you know it, weeks have passed, years have passed, and you think, yo, it's been 10 years since that happened. And then we just pause for a second. We think, I forgot WhyGuru. Where's WhyGuru been today in my life? Where's WhyGuru been for the last week? Where's WhyGuru been for the last how many years? So, meri mat body mein Ram basario, kin bin rahin rahore. How can I live this life that I keep hearing about every single week on Thursday at these talks with these great Guru Sikhs or these great Mahapurush? Right? Kin how? Kin means like, in what way? In what tariqa? What way can I kind of live that life that everyone keeps talking about? And then they say, this is very impactful. They say, Sejay Ramat Nayan Hipeko. Sejay, he's referring to a bed. Because they're giving this analogy that we're like the soul bride. And they're saying that WhyGuruji is sitting inside us already. They're sitting on the bed of our mind, of our heart. WhyGuruji is already sitting there. Sejay Ramat Nayan Hipeko. But they say, I can't see them. Because I keep looking out, but I'm not looking in. I keep looking out at the world, keep looking out at these situations and what I'm trying to progress in. I'm trying to be this, I'm trying to be that, I'm trying to get here, trying to get there, trying to sort this out. Once this is sorted out, then I can do that afterwards, which you all fall into just this thing, once this is fine, then I'll do that. Right? But that, which is this, is what we needed to do to fix that in the first place. Does that make sense? I'm not saying it, keep using that and this, right? But for some reason we think we got to do this, then we could do that. But the Guru's always saying do that. It's so obvious, but unfortunately, we, including me, we just don't get it. That's why when people say, why does Gurdwara repeat itself so many times? Because we don't listen the first time. Why do we have to do Nitnem every single day? Isn't a ritual? It's because we don't listen. Because the Guru told us 20 times in Japji Sahib, Sonia. Right? In those 4 podiyas, Sonias. So, okay, you give you 1 podiya and Sonia. They give us 4 because you just don't listen. Sejay Ramat Nayan Pekho, eh dukh ka so kahore. Who can I tell my sufferings to? Who am I going to go to? When WhyGuruji is always sitting there, Sejay Ramat Nayan Pekho. They were always there. But I just looked in the wrong place. Right? So, everything is already here. We already have everything. Take inspiration from the Gurmukhs. Have fun at the same time. This isn't meant to be a very boring, hard journey that we have to frown all the time. You can't smile. The Guru says, Satguru, Nanak Satguru Petiye, Puri Hove Jugat. The Guru gave us the best way to live. You can laugh, you can smile, you can enjoy your food, you can enjoy nice clothes, you can, Hasandia, Khilande, you can play in the world, but Vichya Hove Mukta, we can still become liberated if we do it for the Guru's eyes, for the way the Guru said to us to do it. Theek hai? And that sounds like such a broad answer to give to finish off with, but that is just coming every single week, but taking something away and applying it into life. So like, again, certain things we could take away today. If you're waking up in the morning and having Cocoa Pops, first do Japji Sada part, then have your Cocoa Pops. Right? If you're not doing a Nitnem in the morning, start doing a Nitnem again. Theek hai? If you're already doing that, then add another Japji Sahib into your day. Add another Chaupai Sahib into your day. Right? Why are we stopping at the minimum? Why, chalo, we do this much part today. Why don't we do more? Why don't we do more Simran? There's so much we can do. Let's not stay still. Right? I'll finish off with this last point, because I told you I could talk forever. I promise you this last point. Who works here in this room? Who has a job? Okay. Now, would you work at the same place for 15, 20 years and ask for no pay rise? For 15, 20 years. With inflation and all these things happening. Every single year we want a promotion, we want more money, so that we can pay our bills and we can keep progressing, right? That's the way of the world. But when it comes to our Sikhi, or when it comes to our spirituality, Why do we just want to do the minimum? But every single year, we're not looking to progress in our career, I use the word loosely, of our spirituality and our Sikhi, right? We wouldn't settle for the same thing in our job or in our own parai and our studies in the world, right? We wouldn't just stop at GCSEs, we want to get this, we want to get that, we want to get this promotion, get to this level. But why is in our Sikhi we don't feel the same way? Why do we not have that inside? So you know what? Next year I want to be doing Sukhmani Sahib. I want to finish my Guru Granth Sahib Ji Santhya and read this and read that and learn about this and learn about that. Why don't we have that same thing as well? Right? Why don't we have that in us? Guru Kirpa Rakhe, hopefully the Guru inspire us to be around people that are on that journey and inspire us to want to read more part, want to do, like, has anybody ever thought in their mind that what would it be? You hear about Sant Janel Singh Ji, who did 100 Japji Sahibs in a day, right? Or 108, or 120, 25, there's so many different numbers, right? It keeps going up higher and higher. But has anybody ever thought to themselves, I would like to do 100 Japji Sahibs in one day? I know it sounds crazy, but why don't we have those goals? But if we don't get to 5 Japji Sahibs, how are we going to get to 10 or 15 or 25 or 50, 51, right? We should have this kind of goal, like Boldly Sahib, 84 steps, right? 84 Japji Sahibs, that's long, man. If we're not doing 5 or 10, start with 2 now. Start with 3, and let's build ourselves up. I'll finish off there. I'm very sorry. Made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of jokes. I'll keep the jokes. The jokes were good. And shared a lot of stuff. I'm sorry if some parts are boring. I saw one person fall asleep at one point, so I'm sorry about that as well. But actually, you're welcome. I got you some sleep as well, so I'll take that. Thank you so much. And again, please forgive the mistakes made. We'll finish off here. WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. Oh, and yeah, we got a hike. I forgot about that. Sorry. We got a hike next Saturday. So please, if you haven't signed up, take part, meet the team, raise some money to carry on the seva and have a great time with Sangat. There's a coach team from Birmingham, coach team from London. So please take part in the hike and meet the team. WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa.